And I want to first introduce to all of you the manager of Seneca Alumni, Barry Neymark, just to say a few words of welcome. So over to you, Barry.
Yes, welcome all current students, future Seneca alumni, and there's some recent grads in the chat. This is a great little partnership we got here this afternoon with these panels. We've been doing these virtual panels the last 2 years during COVID. We used to do them in person, but we're excited to bring this to you virtually. And I see a mixed bag of all programs. And you're currently a Seneca student, and you have access to Seneca Alumni Services. So Jen, towards the end, we'll post some of our Seneca Alumni Services. But in the meantime, you can start following us through all those famous social media networks, whether it's the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, my favorite, LinkedIn. There's a lot of great upcoming events we continue to have, open to all Seneca students. So thrilled we're doing this partnership today with Academic Pathways. I'm a big fan of the team at Academic Pathways, and look forward to hearing from our awesome Seneca alumni today. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you very much, Barry. And just to answer a question in the chat, after this session, I will be emailing you the recording, so not to worry. Once the recording and the transcript is available, you will get this recording in the email. We also want to share a resource with you today that alumni and students have access to, which is our Academic Pathways team. So if you've heard of Academic Pathways before, give us a reaction right now, smile, thumbs up. If not, not to worry. We're about to share an exciting video that the team has made to explain the services that that they have. So I already see Yu Ching in the chat giving us a winky face. So great to know that some of us have heard of this service before. So let me share my screen again, and please note that this resource is available to all. After
system, enabling teams around the world to reach their goals faster.
Hi, we are Seneca's Academic Pathways team. We provide a number of services for students that want to further their education at Seneca and beyond. Seneca College is the #1 Ontario college in transfer pathways. We have over 3,000 unique inbound pathways to Seneca programs and over 1,000 unique program-to-program pathways for Seneca students at over 60 partner institutions in the GTA, Canada, and beyond. Our team is here to help students further their education through a pathway to Seneca for students with previous post-secondary education, a pathway within Seneca for students who would like to continue onto a Seneca degree after they complete a Seneca Diploma, or a pathway beyond Seneca for students who are interested in degree-level education at another post-secondary institution. Seneca students should start by reviewing their pathway options online in our Degree Transfer Guide. This comprehensive guide outlines your degree pathway options after you complete your Seneca credential. If you're interested in transferring to Seneca from another college or university, check out the ontransfer.ca website to discover your educational path. Students may be eligible to pathway into a 2- or 3-year diploma, an honors bachelor degree, or a graduate certificate at Seneca. Oh, and how can we forget? Our team also assists Seneca degree students who are interested in going on to master's level education. Book an appointment with a Pathways advisor if you have questions about your pathway opportunities. We can also be reached by phone, email, or in person. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What a great video. Thank you very much, Academic Pathways team. At this time, I want to just showcase all the Academic Pathways team member on the screen right now, so you can put a face to the department. So if you look on the screen right now, if you look at Charmaine and Academic Pathways, June Allison, and Jennifer Klusterman on the screen, feel free to give us a wave. These are—
Hey everyone, we'd like to welcome you to this webinar presentation.
Sorry,
Today
give me a second. Can everyone see them on the screen? So if you would like to reach out to the Academic Pathways team, we can type it in the chat right now. So you can connect with our Academic Pathways coordinator. So I know we're excited. We just met not one, two, but three people from the Academic Pathways team. But now I have even something more exciting for you. I have 4 alumni who are so excited to meet all of you today. On the screen, you could see Aidan, Hayden, Miriam, and Christopher, who will be sharing their journey with transferring from a Seneca diploma to a Seneca degree, or a Seneca diploma to somewhere external. So we have a lot of experience that will be shared today. So feel free to ask any questions. This session is created just for all of our students and recent alumni looking for that next step. So without further ado, I want to give an introduction to their experience. So as you can see on the screen, I hope everyone can see on the screen. Yep, nod if you can. Perfect. Hayden has completed an advanced diploma in business administration marketing and moved on to the Bachelor's of Commerce program, business management at Ryerson University. Hayden is currently a business development manager at Glass Paint Technology. Great to have you, Hayden. Thank you very much. Next, we have Christopher Mammoliti, who is the vice chair of the Toronto District School Board and also trustee for Ward 4 Humber River Black Creek. So if you're in that region, that's your trustee right there. And we're so proud that's of Christopher as a Seneca alumni. He has completed the business administration management program, and his pathway was within Seneca, the Honors Bachelor's of Commerce program in business management. Next, we have a very familiar face. If you have seen the Challenge Accepted ads or any Seneca open house events, Aidan D'Souza is a current student in the Honors Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies at Seneca College. Aidan has completed the following programs: the Police Foundations Program, 911 Emergency Services and Communications Program, and Advanced Investigation and Enforcement Program. And I saw someone in the chat that completed some of these. So Aidan is probably the best person to chat with today in terms of this area. Last but definitely not least, we have Miriam Geseva, who is a current student in the Honors Bachelor of Science program at the University of Guelph. So super excited. Miriam has supported us in previous alumni panel as well, and she was excellent in explaining her previous experience. Miriam completed the Chemical Engineering Technology Advanced Diploma with Seneca as well. So we're super excited to have the 4 of you today. Thank you very much for joining us. For those of you that have programs that are not reflected in this chat, don't worry. We also work with the Seneca Works team as well to work with individual programs. So for example, the design program, the fashion program, we have individual alumni panels that talk about alumni journeys. So feel free to connect with us after the call to see if there is one available for your program. But what's most important today is learning about our speaker's journey, how they decided to get to that next step. So feel free to type in the chat if you have any questions. So our alumni, are you ready for today? Okay, they're looking very pumped. So let me just quickly spotlight everyone so we can get a bit better look right now. Give me 1 second, I'll spotlight myself and we will get started. So everybody's still looking great and now spotlighted. Fantastic. So Hayden, we will start with you first. Could you please tell us about yourself and your academic and career journey?
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So I started out taking a year off after high school, kind of trying to figure out my next steps. And that's when I stumbled upon the Seneca Business Administration Marketing program, which I took for 3 years to earn an advanced diploma. And then after getting my diploma from Seneca, I went straight into the workforce. I graduated in 2013 and then worked for about 7 years in the coatings industry, where I learned a lot as a junior sales and marketing rep and worked my way up to business administration. And then I kind of realized that I wanted to see, some more where further education could take me. So that's when I applied to Ryerson over the pandemic, and that's what I'm currently doing part-time.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, Hayden. And Chris, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for having me, and it's great to see everybody here. My journey is actually very similar to Hayden's. I went to high school. Out of high school, I went into the 3 advanced diploma course. It was for business admin management. I was in that program for 3 years. After graduation, I got into the hospitality industry, and I worked in hospitality for 4 years as an office manager. That came out of college. We went through a recession at that time, and at that a lot of people lost their jobs, including myself. So I bounced back into a shipping job, and it was in design and manufacturing. I was in a warehouse. I worked there for 10 years and progressed through that company from shipping to sales to operations manager to general manager. About halfway through, I realized that I needed to upgrade my skill set in order to open a few more doors at the company that I was at. Very lucky that they were open to pursuing that future with me, and it gave me the confidence to do so. And then that's when I came back to Seneca College, and I studied business management, the honors degree, and graduated, blessed to graduate as a valedictorian for the class. Went back to that company that I'm with. I stayed with them for 2 more years, and in that time, I decided to run for public office. And again, very, very lucky to have won a seat and now sit as the trustee for Humber Black Creek and doing my best to push and fight for public education. A lot of the reason that we're here right now.
Thank you very much, Chris. What a journey. And I'm so glad that you came back to Seneca and ended up where you are today as well, and coming back here today to share with our students. Aidan, how about you? Could you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, absolutely, Jennifer. So I first came to Seneca at the age of 8 years old. I started off at Seneca summer camps, actually. And then in 2017, I started my first post-secondary program, which was Police Foundations. I always knew I wanted to go into a career that can make a difference and make an impact at the end of the day. I knew somewhere in law enforcement, there was the right job for me. When I finished Police Foundations in 2019, I realized I was too young to apply to the police force. I needed more experience and more education. So I ended up doing 2 more credentials, which was 911, emergency services, communications, and advanced investigations and enforcement, just to give me more skills and more education towards that career in law enforcement. By the end of those 2 programs, I realized I completed 3 programs. I can use those transfer credits towards getting a degree. So it would only take me a year and a half to get a degree at Seneca. So I did that, and I'm currently in the Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies program, which I'm really enjoying so far, and also working in the student recruitment department. In the future, I do hope to apply for a law enforcement job.
Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, Aidan. And last but not least, Miriam, could you tell us a little bit about your journey, academic and career journey?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I started a program mostly because I just knew that I liked sciences. I just wasn't really sure what kind of sciences I really wanted to get into. And that program kind of provided a good background for all of them. Eventually, towards the end, I realized that I really like biochemistry and chemistry, less engineering. So I applied for a couple of universities. I did my major in biological sciences and a minor in biochemistry. That allowed me to actually go to Germany for 4 months and be in a lab there in like the eastern part of Germany, which was a really cool experience. And I am about to graduate this month. So yeah.
That's awesome. You got to go to another university and Germany. So let us know all the details because I want to know. Thank you very much for letting us know your journey, everyone. This is what I'm really curious about. Why did you decide to pursue another education credential? And I want to learn a little bit more about how that experience was going back to school, maybe for a long period of time or maybe immediately after a diploma. Tell us a little bit about that part of your decision. Hayden, why don't we start with you again?
Thank you. So after I graduated from Seneca, after that last exam, I kind of told myself that this was my last exam I'm ever going to take in my life, and that I'm never ever going back to school again. And I was very happy about that until I started working more and more. And I think once you find out the more that you work, the more what you like and the more what you don't like. And I started kind of figuring out that I really like the entrepreneur side of business and the marketing and sales and developing businesses. And so I got a little curious, and I started to look at different Ryerson and York programs and kind of how long they would take with the Seneca education that I had. And I found this program at Ryerson that was that I could jump into the third year out of 4 years and I don't know, like, it just kind of really switched in my brain that once I found something that I really, really liked and was kind of wanted to go after, then I was a lot more motivated to do so. And I'm so far, you know, I have a GPA above 3 and I'm doing really well. And I actually, for one of the first times, I'm excited to go learn. So I think that's just why I decided to pursue something else other than Seneca, finding something that I really like to do.
That's awesome. And I do agree with you. Once you start working, you start to find that interest and you look for that program that matches that interest as well. So thank you very much, Hayden. Chris, how about you? Why did you decide to take another credential and what was that journey like?
Again, very, very similar to Hayden. I had graduated from the original program thinking that my education journey was complete. Went to work, and what you realize is just how valuable the education is once you get the experience in the workplace. And it was something that I had recognized. There were skill sets that I'd like to have that I didn't have after the diploma course. And you recognize this from experience in that workplace, in the business sector, things like supply chain, living through that environment of a warehouse into sales, into management. That opened your eyes into areas that you feel you have personal gaps. So, you know, there was 2 reasons for me. One, I wanted to better myself and my education and my skill set. But 2, I wasn't getting the opportunities because I didn't have my degree that I felt I was deserving through my work ethic and results. So those were the 2 major drivers for me.
Awesome, Chris. And may I ask, why did you decide to pursue the business degree with Seneca again after your diploma?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest reasons was the ability to transfer credits. It cut time off. And as an adult going back to school, I went back when I was 29 for my degree. I had to juggle a lot of different priorities, and being able to eliminate ultimately 2 years off of a 4-year degree program was really, really important to me. The second piece is also cost. It was very, very effective, cost effective, and I believe you get tremendous value from our college degree programs.
Thank you very much, Chris, for sharing. Aidan, over to you.
Yeah.
Let us know.
For me, what I knew, like, when it came to career for law enforcement or any career in general, when it comes time for a promotion, they will always look at your education. Do you have the right education for that promotion? And I knew a degree would help me get there for long term. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I chose to pursue a degree at Seneca. It's just because I needed to think of my long-term goals. If I wanted to be promoted to like a sergeant or an inspector in the police force, they will look at that education. And the same thing with Christopher is the transfer credits. That made a huge decision, like it played a big part in why I decided to do it at Seneca, because I can get like a lot of transfer credits from my graduate certificate, my certificate, and my diploma. That helped me to reduce the courses that I would take in the interdisciplinary program. Now I would complete the degree program in 1.5 years, which I am really grateful for.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Aidan. And Miriam, over to you. Why did you decide to pursue the credentials? Was it Germany? Tell us more.
No, I just during my Seneca studies, I kind of realized that I do want to do things that are more lab focused, and I did
Miriam,
have a degree. And oh, sorry, kind of realized that I have to have a degree in a university if I even want to have those options. And I will agree with everyone saying the transfer options, the ability to kind of jump immediately to a third year and not having to do a lot of those extremely hard, well-known first and second year courses in university.
Sorry, I think I'm
for
just having
university
a little bit of computer issues. It's a little bit laggy on my end. Is it possible, if you're not the speaker at this moment, is it possible for you to turn off your camera so that we can see everyone? So everyone other than the panelists, please turn off your camera so that we could just get a better connection for everyone. Sorry, Miriam, do you mind repeating that answer for us again?
Oh yeah, sorry guys, it might be a problem with me. My internet isn't being the best, but yeah, just to sum up, I wanted to have more opportunities with work and higher lab jobs and possibly a master's. So I wanted to get a university degree and transfer options.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miriam. And I think our network is improving on my end. So hopefully, thank you for everyone for turning off your camera. Sorry. Perfect. So thank you everyone for turning off your camera. The network is improving on my end as well. So hopefully everyone can see that as well. So now I want to get, deeper into the process. I know that like hearing from after 4 of you, that degree really opened up opportunities and built experience on your current credentials. So how was the transfer process? Was it very difficult? Did you have to go through a lot of extra courses that you have to take for that specific program? Or was it an easy peasy, if they just admitted you straight to third year kind of situation? So let's hear from all of our panelists again. Hayden, how was your experience transferring to Ryerson Bachelor's of Commerce program?
Yes, so when I decided to go for a university degree, it was a little discouraging at times. I would just say you got to really push through and communicate with said university. I talked to York, Ryerson, University of Toronto, and they all kind of had different requirements, different transfer processes and whatnot. I found Ryerson to be the best fit, so I applied there, and I actually got a email from one of the admissions counselors asking what my GPA was from Seneca, which was 2.9, and to transfer into the Ryerson program, you needed to be a 3. So she explained to me that, sorry, we won't be accepting you in the program at this time. Best of luck. And I actually reached out to her and followed up with her and emailed her and described more about what I was doing in the workforce and what I've been doing in the industry for the last 7 or 8 years. And she actually reversed that and let me in after that. So a message to other people would just be kind of push through and really communicate with the admissions department, and don't get discouraged if you hear a couple no's at first. Just keep pushing through and finding the sweet spot and have some confidence.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hayden. Chris, how about you? How was your transfer process?
Mine was quite easy. I did look into universities. I looked into York University. I looked into Ryerson as well. But the reality for me was I was working full time, and the requirements, the writing that was going to be required to get into the program was very difficult. That's actually why I actually reached back out to Seneca to see if there were any options there, because I had heard a radio ad that they were now offering degree programs. Within 3 days, I was in class. So for me, it was very, very easy once I identified Seneca as where I wanted to be.
That's awesome, Chris. And it's great to know that our ads are working, right? And let you back right into Seneca. Hey, how about you, Aidan? You've been at Seneca.
Yeah, so I transferred 3 times, and all 3 times it was really easy. There's a lot of support from the academic pathway team, whether it was a one-on-one virtual advising appointment with one of their team members, or attending the academic pathway fair, where I like learned a little bit more about the programs. They've really helped me to make that decision on what programs to go into. Also the faculty, the professors, the chair of the public safety program all supported me in making that decision. The one good thing I really liked about transferring is I didn't have to like reapply on ontariocolleges.ca. When you're transferring to another program at Seneca, it's all an internal transfer form, which I did for all 3 times. And I knew in about 2 weeks, I sent it to the admissions department, and I knew in 2 weeks that I got accepted into those programs. So overall, a great experience.
Aidan, I'm really glad to hear that it was a smooth experience. And you just plugged in 3 services that are available within Seneca right now. So for all the students and alumni that are logged in right now, the academic programs have academic pathways fair that you can attend that are related to your program. Number 2 is you can book a one-on-one advising appointment with our pathways coordinator and counselors. And number 3, reach out to your professors and your program coordinators. They know what the industry is like. They know what you need. Even if you don't have that working experience yet, you can reach out to them and see what's relevant nowadays and what's needed. For example, police force, maybe you need many volunteer experience, academic experience, investigative experience before even heading into being a constable. So correct me if I'm wrong, Aidan.
Oh no, that's right. You need the volunteer hours, and the education always helps for sure.
Yeah. I know being a police officer is a long journey, and kudos to all the police officers out there. Miriam, over to you. I need a little bit of science in my life. So what was so could you tell me about your transfer process to Guelph?
It was very straightforward, but it was tedious because you're applying for universities. Luckily, the career pathway was laid out to be very well through Seneca, and I will agree with what Aidan said about having your professors one who took almost the exact same path as me. So he was a Seneca student, eventually went to Guelph. So he essentially told me about a lot of the challenges and a lot of the differences, and he really solidified why I want to go to Guelph instead of other universities.
That's awesome, Miriam. Reach out to those around you and your professors as well. And I know a lot of people within the science programs do pursue a bachelor's of science at Guelph as well. So after this chat, we will also share an alumni LinkedIn group link with everyone. Even if you're a student, feel free to join. This is your opportunity and funnel to talk to alumni that are in your area as well on LinkedIn to see what their journey is like. You know, on LinkedIn, you can look at where people have been, where people have studied. If that is of interest in you, feel free to let them know because you have that Seneca alumni connection already. Most of our alumni are willing to help and willing to support. And you could also ask our department to support you as well in connecting with alumni as well too. Thank you so much, Miriam. So on to our next question. This is kind of scary for me. So what was it like moving from a diploma program level to a degree level? Was it more difficult, or do you find it easy peasy? University is a piece of cake, or the new Seneca program, piece of cake after going through the diploma program? So Hayden, let me know your experience.
I definitely get where you're coming from, Jennifer, with it can be a little scary. Just the name of it. I was definitely nervous and scared going to Ryerson, wondering if I could do it or not. But just for everyone out there worried about that, 100% you can do it. I'm getting better marks now than I did at Seneca. I think in terms of the classmates I have now versus the classmates I had at Seneca, there's no difference whatsoever. I think it's just a different kind of learning. I would say maybe brush up on your writing and essay skills, especially if you were like me and took 7 years in between my diploma and my degree. Just brush up on basic things like that. And but otherwise, in terms of learning the knowledge and what they give you, it's no problem whatsoever.
Awesome, thank you, Hayden. And Chris, how was the diploma to degree? You know, were there any differences in your experience?
Yeah, so I had a big gap as well, about 8 years in between. What I would say is I was much more mature going back for my degree program. I knew what I wanted. I was going to school with an idea of what I was trying to achieve, but there was a concern about being an older student, not being in school for 8 years, and will I still be able to study? Do I think the right way to be in class? And again, very similar to Hayden, what I suggest to everyone is absolutely you can. It's just a barrier you have to kind of walk through. But I should also give a quick shout out to the professors, the staff who made it really, really easy for me, gave me confidence. Sarah Arliss, Abdul Tariq, Terry James were all professors at the time and really supported me in that transition. I shared with all of them my concerns being an adult, and they basically laughed and said, you're going to be fine, be confident in yourself. And similar to Hayden, I achieved far greater academic success than I had ever achieved before.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Aidan, what about you?
Yeah, like for me, after police foundations, like the certificate from 911 and advanced investigation, I found that they were a lot easier because I knew what to expect, like with the course material, with the campuses when we were in person, even Blackboard, like I knew how to navigate everything around Seneca. But when it came to the degree program, it is a different like level of challenge I found. A lot more reading, more assignments, but there's also a lot more support, whether it's our learning centers, our libraries, or at our advisors. There's always someone we can reach out to get the help that we need. So I did find that I was supported like throughout my whole journey, like in transferring to different programs. And if anything got challenging, I would always reach out to someone, which I think is really important to anyone starting a new program.
That's awesome. Thank you, Aidan. And Miriam, how about you?
I will say that I had a little bit of more of a challenge at the beginning because I don't know if it's in other courses, but in science, for example, in Seneca, there was a lot more of a practical type of knowledge, while in university, it was a lot more theoretical. So things that they would give us in exams in Seneca, I would have to memorize for exams in university, for example. So that was a bit of a challenge to navigate. But aside from that first initial shock of just how much they expect me to memorize, I would say that it was a smooth transition.
That's great. It's practicing our memorization and critical thinking skills is all university, right? So thank you very much, Miriam. So this brings me to my last question before our Q&A. What are some tips or suggestions that you have for someone thinking about pursuing another credential? Do you have, whether they're not sure to take the next step, or if they're not confident in taking the next step, what are some tips or suggestions do you have? Hayden, do you have any tips?
I would just say it's not always by the book, the way that things happen. If you told me, 5 or even 5 years ago that I'd be in a university program right now, I would have just laughed or said you're lying. It's not always by the book. It's not always a straight line from point A to point B. It's never too late to find another passion or really kind of hone in and figure out what you want to do, or even take a chance. So don't underestimate. Don't say you're too old or it's too late or whatnot. I would there's no straight line. Just go for it, and it really gives back to you when you find out what you're truly passionate about and what you like to learn.
Awesome. Thank you, Hayden. Chris, how about you? What are some tips and suggestions that you have for our students and alumni today?
I guess, first of all, it's never a bad time to upgrade yourself. And don't feel like you need to go exactly into the same path you were in. I really enjoyed psychology classes coming from a business management background. So, use the different parts of your mind and challenge yourself. And the other thing I'd say is make sure you come back, volunteer, support those future students, the future youth coming through. It's going to be important as they grow to have that mentorship. So I think that's really important as well.
I completely agree with you, Chris. Every day, technologically, everything's changing. There's always something new to pick up, new skills to pick up, and also improvement in terms of like new knowledge, new theory. So don't be afraid to come back and pick up these new knowledge. Don't be afraid to give back. I find a lot of these alumni panel, our alumni often feel like, wow, I never even thought about this question, and our students are bringing in new thoughts and new ideas into our lives. So again, thank you to the four of you for taking the time to mentor our students today. And students, thank you so much for taking the time to be on this call as well. All right, Aidan, over to you. Any tips or suggestions for our group?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say always try to further your education. When I started at Seneca in 2017, I only thought I would do one diploma and go right to the workforce. So right now I'm on my 4th credential. So it didn't plan out the way it should have, but I'm glad it did. Like, I wouldn't have met amazing professors, got involved with Seneca by volunteering as a SMILE mentor. I did a lot of things that I didn't expect, but it all turned out for the better. And another tip is never stop learning. You're never too old or to learn something. You can stay at Seneca for years and take many different programs. Enjoy your time right now and always try to get the most out of your education.
Awesome. Thank you, Aidan. And Miriam, over to you.
A bit of a practical tip. I see that a lot of the students here are in their 5th semester, and I say that right now is a good time to really start researching the transfer path options. For me personally, during this time, I found out I had to take an English proficiency test to join Guelph. And because I started early, that I had the chance to do the test and to get the results in time to get accepted. So start early.
Start early. Don't forget that. You know, whether you're in 2nd semester, 1st semester, if you're thinking about it, start looking at different options as well. So thank you to all 4 of our panelists for sharing their journey so far. We have lots of questions in the chat already. So I'm going to bring on the Academic Pathways team. Going to spotlight them, and they will be posing the questions to all of you with any questions that they have. And if you have any questions about academic pathways, feel free to put it in the chat right now. This is the perfect time to ask what services that they offer, what are the services like. Feel free to drop that in the chat as well too. So I'm going to pass it over to Charmaine from Academic Pathways to pose these questions. Charmaine, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Jennifer. So I do see a couple of questions. So a lot of questions are, so actually I'll just go through one by one. So the first one from Bethany says, so if I want to transfer to university after I graduate, do I need to take any additional classes before even applying? So Bethany, are you thinking about transferring to Seneca or to maybe another degree?
So I currently go to Seneca, but I was thinking about going to a probably Laurier for the same, not, I'm an ECE student right now, but I was thinking about taking like an international education course. So I was thinking about that, but I'm not really sure like the process of how this will all go down.
Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer, did you want to lead us through how to use the degree transfer guide and what are some of those options?
Yeah, so I guess I'm sure there's lots of questions in the chat with students asking specifically what pathway is available to them and what courses they need to take and requirements and all of that. So just to broadly answer a lot of those, all of the pathways that are available to Seneca students, whether that be a diploma to degree pathway at Seneca or a diploma to degree pathway at another institution, all of these pathways are outlined in our degree transfer guide, which is available on our website. I believe the links have been posted in there, and I think Charmaine might screen share that. So you want to go onto our guide, you can click on your program, and then all the different pathways that are available will come up. Then you just click on the degree of whatever you're interested in, and then all of the information will be there. So things like your first question was, are there any other courses required? There may be, there may not be, but if there is, that will all be outlined in the transfer guide. Things like GPA requirements, and then the most important thing, how much transfer credit you could get towards another program. So like those very specific questions about moving on, here is our transfer guide. I would get onto here. I would click on by program. It's usually the easiest. And then you'll just click, you'll find your program, and all of the different pathways will be listed. I'll just go over this again quickly. If you are thinking, let's just say you check the different pathways and you don't see a pathway for the program or maybe the school that you are interested in, it doesn't mean necessarily that you can't go. It just means that you'll have to check what the admission requirements are for the program that you want. And as long as you have those, although it could include 12U courses, then you could apply to that institution or that program. And in most cases, transfer credit would be assessed on a case by case.
Yep. Thanks, Jennifer. Does that help a little bit for most students? Because I did see a couple of questions that are very similar to that. I've also put in the link for the degree transfer guide into the chat. So if you go into that, you can see of how you can see what kind of pathway options are there. And like most of our panelists have said, like if we have a pathway with the school, you might have some credits transferred, which will make your degree a little bit shorter for you.
Yeah, and then after you've reviewed all the different pathways, please get in touch with us. If you have any questions or you want to confirm any details, we can definitely help you and support you through this process. So feel free to send us an email or make an appointment with us, and we would be happy to help you.
Yeah. I see a different question from Shelley. She says that as a PSW international graduate from Seneca Yorkgate, how can I enroll to study PRN, then go into register nursing? Is there, Jennifer, would you be able to answer that as well?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the question so I can read that.
Is that 1:41 p.m.?
Yeah. So this might be something that we could take offline. Maybe if Shelly wants to email us and we can help with this. It looks like Shelly wants to get into another program to then get into a degree. So how about if it's okay, we will either connect with you, Shelly, or you can email us. One of my colleagues will put our email address into there and we can definitely help you with that question.
I think it's answered, but Victoria did ask about master's education, whether we support that, and we definitely do. So what you can do is you just need to book an appointment with us. So if anyone is thinking about, going to grad studies and have any questions about that, you can book an appointment with us and we can support you with your application. So I'm just gonna put the link for you as well in the chat box. I'm just going through the questions. Okay, so Nadish Shani asked, if you're currently employed in a postgraduate certificate, which ends in December, do we still have time to start another postgraduate certificate within Canada in the winter semester?
I would say if it was a Seneca postgrad certificate, you probably still have time. You should be able to see the availability lists on the admissions webpage to see which programs are still open for applications. But in terms of outside of Seneca, that would really depend on the institution and what their deadlines are for applying.
Okay, so I'm just going to post the program availability link on our chat. So there's two, the one that posted is Canadian applicants, but then there's also a link to the international applicant. So if you're an international applicant, you're thinking about, doing another Seneca program and you're considering whether it's open, you can definitely find that link there. Let me see what else. Great questions, guys. Just getting through them one by one. Let me see.
So regarding the master's question that came through, just wanted to let all of the people here know that Seneca is hosting a grad studies expo next week. So November 8th to the 11th. We have about 20 institutions that are coming to do a virtual sessions with students all throughout the week. So this is your chance, whether or not you're in a degree right now, or maybe you're in a diploma and you're thinking that grad studies or masters are something that you're going to be interested in later. it's never too early to start researching what might be required. So my colleague is posting our event link into the chat where you can see all the institutions that are attending and also register for all of the sessions.
Yeah, so I did post that in. We do hope to see you there. That we do have a lot of great institutions there who are gonna, be answering all your questions and giving you information about the grad program. Okay, so Hans asked, is a college degree the same as a university degree? I think they're talking about Seneca. June, did you want to take down that one?
Yeah, so they're 4 years honors bachelor's degree, and they go through some pretty stringent quality standards that they have to hit. So it is, but I mean, the biggest difference I would say too is that college degrees tend to be a lot more prescribed. So in a university, you might have more options or certain categories that you have to fulfill with courses and a certain number of courses you have to take. With a college degree, your curriculum is pretty well set, with the exception of maybe you have some professional options that you choose from, and you have liberal studies courses that you have to choose from. Another big difference with the college degrees, especially at Seneca, is they include a work integrated learning term, which typically isn't included in a university degree. So you actually have the chance to get out in the industry, work in the field, get some experience, and have that added to your resume, which makes you for sure an attractive candidate when you're applying for jobs after you finish your degree program. So those are definitely two key things that make college degrees really great. And small class sizes too, which is also really nice.
Great, thanks for that, June. So just to let you know, June's our inbound coordinator. And then Jennifer's our outbound coordinator. And then myself, my name is Charmaine. I'm in the engagement coordinator. So if you see social media, they're all, and though I'm posting them. So any questions with that as well, we're here to support you. I see that we have a couple of questions that is asked for our panelists. So let me just see if I could read them. So Nellie asked, Hayden, do you feel that business administration marketing diploma is enough to enter the workforce?
I was just typing out a response to that in the chat. I wasn't sure if it was going to come around to me or not, but all I was going to say is that it certainly was for me and all the other classmates that I graduated with. It opened up a lot of doors, and what I find is once you have your foot in the door and you start performing and you start, trying really hard and learning a lot, then no one really asks what your education is beyond that. So it's really about what you do once you get your foot in the door.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, so here I see a question asked by Jasmine Wren. I'm currently pursuing 3-year advanced diploma business administration purchasing and supply management in Seneca in the 5th semester, and I want to do a bachelor's. So what will be the best option for me to complete in a short time? So I guess that would be very similar to our degree transfer guide that we went through. Jennifer, did you want to add anything onto that? Or June, if you have any suggestion for Seneca?
There's a lot of options for graduates of the BAO diploma. So I would suggest have a really good look through the degree transfer guide, read all the available pathways because they will be different. So not all pathways are the same across the board. Some give you different amounts of transfer credit. So definitely have a good review of that list to get a better idea. And if you have any questions about those pathways, any in particular, for sure, reach out to us by email, make an appointment to chat with us, and we can go over that in a bit more detail with you for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's a lot of different pathways, and then all you have to do is you can go to your program page and then press the pathway buttons, and we outline them all there, as well as the degree transfer guide. So for example, for Jazz, I'm just gonna put in the pathway page from your program page for the BAO program, and then you can definitely see what are your options and the eligibility as well.
There's a big list.
Yeah, so lots of choices.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we also have our YouTube channel that, we have like these mini clips that we've created of, what programs pathway from one to another, which I can drop in the link as well. Give me a second. Anyone else have any other questions? Yeah, thanks for all the engagement. Jennifer, oh, I see another one from Bethany. Give me a second. So it says, do all universities allow you to transfer credits from college? Jennifer?
Well, it really would depend. Each university has different transfer credit policies. So it would depend whether or not we have a pathway or if we don't, and it would also depend on the institution.
Yeah, so the best thing what we would suggest is probably look on our website first to see what are the pathways that we have. And if we don't have a pathway that's available, definitely recommend you to speak to the university that you're interested in, and they can provide more guidance of, what is possible and how many, what are some equivalent or exemptions that you can do. Another one says, Nelly asked, does Ryerson require additional courses for transferring there?
So Nelly, I'm not really understanding your question, but I have a feeling that you're asking about reach back courses. If you want to confirm that, then I can answer that question. In terms of, I don't know if you're asking about high school courses or other college courses or whatnot. So if you could just clarify what kind of courses you're asking about, then I would be happy to help you with that question.
Nelly, are you looking at any specific program?
I was just asking if there is extra prerequisite college courses, because I'm in Seneca right now. But if I wanted to do a degree transfer, are there extra courses that are needed in addition to the ones that are in my program?
What program are you in?
Business administration marketing.
And what do you want to transfer to at Ryerson?
Just a business degree.
Okay, so make sure you check out the transfer guide. We do have a great pathway with Ryerson to the Bachelor of Commerce Business Management. There is no other college courses that are required for admission. But once you dig into this pathway a little bit deeper, there is something called reach back courses, which are outlined on Ryerson's site. They're not Seneca courses that are required. They're courses at Ryerson that you would have to either complete or get transfer credit for. It can be a little bit confusing, but we could if you have questions and you want to go over that, please reach out to us and we can definitely assist you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Jennifer, yep, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charmaine. And thank you so very much to Academic Pathways teams. I learned a lot today too about transferring. Maybe I'm going to pursue a diploma or degree after this chat. And thank you again to our 4 panelists for sharing your thoughts and journey with us. I think it's very inspirational that some of you came back from 8 years later to pursue a degree, and it's very motivating for individuals like myself that are looking to upgrade myself. For those that stayed and went immediately, to pursue a master's degree, bachelor's degree right after your programs. Super impressive stuff as well, because I know that there are external pressures for us to jump right into the workforce into something that's not relevant to our program sometimes. So thank you, Aidan, Hayden, Chris, and Miriam for spending your time. And also, as a special treat for all of the students that stayed to the very end today, I want to show one alumni resources that we're going to open up to all of you today. And that is the Mastering LinkedIn course. Sometimes when we're in a program and we don't know what the next step should be, but we know that we should take a next step, I often advise people to go explore on other people's LinkedIn profile. In other words, creep, just to see what other people's journey look like. So for example, if someone has a job title that you really like, and you're not sure how to get there, sometimes I would go on LinkedIn and explore their journey. So see what extra certificates, diploma, degree that they have taken. Today I'm going to share an alumni resource that's available to all alumni called the Mastering LinkedIn course. So we collaborate with this group called the LinkedIn Guys, who are individuals that worked with LinkedIn in the past to unlock things that a premium account would do without paying for the premium account. So this is called the Mastering LinkedIn course. So learning how to make your profile that looks very engaging to recruiters, how to engage with fellow alumni. How do you make that first connection without sounding like a sales pitch? How do you start that in-mail message that get you that accepted invitation? Different ways to help you land your dream job. So after this PowerPoint, I will paste a link for you to register for the course, and you should have access today if you're interested in exploring LinkedIn and how that would support your career. The second thing I want to share with you, if you're a student or alumni, is our What's New on LinkedIn webinar that's happening on November 22nd at night. A lot of us are not sure after taking like a diploma or a degree, what careers actually match our personality or skills. So through this webinar, explore the careers that match your skills based on 700 million professionals, and learn new filters that are available on LinkedIn to help you track down remote opportunities. Since 2020, there are a lot of new jobs that are available remotely already. So you could also have access to that as well. This is our collaboration with the LinkedIn guys, and this is our 6th session with them because we have had such high feedback, great feedback from the workshops with the LinkedIn guys. There will also be an opportunity for a live interview if you prefer to have that practice as well in that evening. Just 1 hour of your night to explore your career. So these are the resources that are available. If you like today's panel, we do tons of panel. I would say weekly, daily, hourly. We have tons of panels focused on different programs. If you're interested, follow us on social media. I know that the Academic Pathways team also have their social media page as well. Follow them. They have great events that are happening as well to support alumni, students, everybody. So make sure you follow us after this event, and feel free to email us if you have any questions. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm just going to paste a couple of links because today it's our first time doing the Pathways Alumni Chat. I would love to hear your feedback. So feel free to fill out the form for us, and I will be pasting the link for the Mastering LinkedIn course and the LinkedIn guys events in the chat. But other than that, that's all I have today. I tried to stay within the 1 to 2 period, but I went over 2 minutes. But thank you everyone for taking the time to join, and thank you very much for our panelists and our Academic Pathways team as well. So if you have some time, our panelists, let's take a group photo if you're interested, so we can post it on social media and brag about how great Seneca Alumni is as well. So thank you very much. So let's take a picture. 1, 2, 3, smile. Awesome. Thank you very much. I got that on record. I'll share it with everyone for consent before I post it everywhere. And I hope that this was helpful to everyone. Thank you very much. I'm going to start posting some links, and panelists, feel free to hop off because I know you have lots of busy things going on in your schedule as well.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Hayden.
Jennifer.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Aidan.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thanks.
you.